So quick story. So there's a situation that I've always found fascinating when it comes to contracts, right? And an athlete is going through high school, getting noticed, getting interest, getting offers, right? Here comes an agent, jumps in a DM, and they'll say, "I can represent you and get you some money." The athlete like, "Shoot, okay, cool." So boom, they agree to be represented by this agent. The agent shops them around, gets to the schools, get the contracts done. Contract is signed. Everybody's like, "Let's go. We rich," right? The agent takes the contract number, makes a graphic, post it on Instagram, say, "We've negotiated over X amount of dollars this cycle." And then I sat back and I said, "You do realize the work just started, right?" So you got the contract signed, but what's in the contract requires work. And the funniest part of all of this is everybody high fives, everybody goes out to dinner, they toast the champagne because they just secured this deal. And then they disappear. Like I see this so much. Like you have all of these representatives and these agencies and these firms, and as soon as the contract is agreed upon and signed, they make a graphic. And then they just let their clients just manage throughout the term of the contract. That's some of the biggest risks because now you're saying, okay, yeah, we got the economics down, we got the compensation down, but whatever was in there, whatever you was required to do, I didn't read it. I don't really care what was in it, as long as we gonna get paid on time. You just threw your client out to the wolves to fend for themselves because one, they trusted you to read the contract, they trusted you to know what was in it and what was required of them. But everybody highlighted the fact about getting paid. And working inside of college athletics, you see a completely different side of the negotiations. You see a complete different side of what it actually means to get your client signed. Because getting them signed is not the same as keeping them signed. That contract can literally get ripped up in 30 days if there's a breach, right? And now I realize the contracts create jobs. You got to think about the payment schedules, compliance, communication, who tracking the budget, the deliverables, who's monitoring it, renewals. Like when it's up for renewal, when do you call? When do you set up the meeting for renewal, or did you forget there was another contract to be signed, right? Or even like managing the relationship, not just with the athlete, but with the team. Like you were heavily present during the time to get it signed. You got it signed and you went ghost. So if the team hasn't spoken to you in 7 months, there's no relationship, you have no leverage, and your client's probably going to fire you because they didn't went 7 months with no contact, no communication, no anything. They're dealing more with the institutional staff when it comes to their contract than they are dealing with you. And that's when everybody started to say, "Man, what am I paying for? What am I getting?" So when I think about the athlete who's coming from high school and they want to get an agent. Everybody thinks that's the cool part. I signed with my agent. All right. You signed with the agent. The work starts, but there's no work being done. Not no work that's quantifiable. Right? It's more so, yeah, I got an agent. Then you say, okay, we got a contract signed. My agent got me this deal. Okay. Where is the agent when it's time to do the work in the deal? And you look at every signature on a contract becomes work for somebody else. Like think about a team. got finance, compliance, business operations, agents, athletes, coaches, administrators. You have somebody now has to make sure that what's written actually happens. That's governance. But for just from a traditional lens, you signed a deal with the team. It activated 7 different jobs. And one of the most important jobs went ghost. Because after we high-fived, I did my job. I'm on to the next client. I'm going to use this graphic to say I just negotiated 6-figure deals, and now you get another. And that's where the cycle of people don't understand what it means to actually get a contract, because the contract comes with work. Getting the contract signed is step 1. The real work, the real professionalism, the real governance side of things, the multitude of decisions happen after the contract is signed. Because before it's signed, it's more so the song and dance, you back and forth. I like this, I don't like this, I don't really want to do this here. And then you get it signed. Just because you negotiated certain things in it before you got it signed doesn't mean that stays the same. A contract to me is a living, breathing, operational document. It's not well, we already negotiated on the front end what it was going to be. Yeah, we negotiated the payments and the terms and the word, but the work is going to always be flexible. It's going to always be something else. It's going to always be something different. And your client is being requested to do work, and you're nowhere to be found because you've already high-fived and moved on to the next thing, made your highlight tape and your little recap, and then you wonder why there's always some argument, because contracts don't protect people. People protect the contracts. Like, people think, oh yeah, the contract signed, my client good. No, you have to make sure that this contract remains good. And there's not a professional in this space who's thinking about the level of operation that comes after that. I do think that's one of the differences between the pro leagues and the college space. The pro league guys there's an obligation for them to make sure that the client is like on task, because they know if he falls off track, this contract can be null and void, or I'm gonna get fired. In this space, it's just like, hey, I got 75 guys. You have 75 guys you high-fived and you signed contracts for, and then you didn't talk to 75 dudes in 7 months. You just pop back up when the season ends. You pop back up when they want to transfer. You pop back up when they call you and say, hey, what happened to the payment? You don't know, because you haven't talked to anybody for 7 months. So I say all that to say it's not that the contracts are irrelevant. It's once the contracts are signed, that's when the real work starts. All the jobs get activated, and certain people aren't trying to do multiple jobs. Like the finance department not trying to find your client to show up for an event. Compliance is for sure not even reading your contract to make sure that they following the T. All they saying is, did he do it or did he not do it? That's it. So for me, if I can look at everything from, holistic and just from a higher level, it's not enough to high five after the contracts are signed. You got to buckle down and get to work, because once it's signed, you want to keep it signed and you want to get another one signed. So the story from like the athlete who found the agent, yeah, he found an agent, but he need to also find somebody who will make sure that agent is doing the work, because you can't just look back up and say, what I'm paying you for again? It's too late. It's too late. Something probably already went wrong because you asked that question, because something went wrong and you're trying to figure out, hey, why you sending me this invoice? What am I paying you for again? Man, I got in trouble with compliance just yesterday. Where you was at, right? So you really can't just high five because of the contracts are signed. Once it's signed, it's time to work.